impact on my life. So just very blessed in terms of people that I know and were instrumental in helping to shape and mold me. And then I learn a lot. I have a lot of mentors in through authors and even fictional characters that I might read in a book. So
Wow.
yeah, I take all that the world has to offer in terms of individuals and the lessons that they can provide.
Wow, absolutely awesome. That may be the first time that I've had a guest to say I've taken fictional characters,
Oh, sure.
and and done that, and maybe Dr. Woods, I probably have done that as well. I know I would look at a movie,
Yes, yes.
and I'm the type of person. Me and my wife will look at a movie and then talk about it. I may start finding points for a sermon on it, and point just for life and living. So
Yeah,
yeah, that is absolutely awesome. So listen, the grand old question, and we see you today, and we see you in this particular current chapter, but we don't all necessarily know the previous chapters of your book. Uh, with putting a point on words there. What's kind of the story? Give us kind of your background that has led you into this executive coaching space that many of us know you for now.
sure. I have my background is business and human resource management, and then of course higher education. Albany's been my home. I gauge it on my son's age for 24 years. But I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan, so
Okay.
that's home.
Mhm.
And people, I'm still taken aback as long as I've lived here in Albany, and I'll run across somebody on this say, "You're not from here, are you?" And I'm like, "Well, what gave it away?" So I still have that Midwestern accent. So Detroit was very key and pivotal in helping to shape who I am today. I've always been a voracious reader. Have always just innately knew that I would want to do something special in life. I've had the pleasure and the benefit of living abroad. My ex-husband is retired Marine Corps, and so we lived in Japan for a number of years. So that helped to also shape and mold me. But I knew that whatever I did, it would entail helping to shape and develop people. I've
Yeah.
always enjoyed helping others kind of design their career path, give them guidance. And so, even though I did not have a specific name for it 20, 30 40, probably even 40 years ago, um, I knew it was something and
Yeah.
always enjoyed speaking. And so it just kind of an amalgamation of all of those experiences have led to where I am today.
Absolutely. That is absolutely wonderful. Executive coaching. This you mentioned about the terminology. You don't know what to call it at the time. I want to go on and and plug it even before you plug it. You got to get this book, her most recent book. I have been reading it. Listen, before I asked her to be a guest, before I thought about asking her to be a guest, I began reading this book. It's been a blessing. It is 101 Planning and Executive Presence Strategies, 101 Career Planning and Executive Presence Strategies. It is simply profound, Dr. Wilson. Yeah, I mean, when we look at the term, we spoke a few minutes ago off camera in reference to the term executive presence. Now, you said that that's not a new term. For some of us, like me, it was definitely a new term. How do you simply define for us that do not know what is executive presence, ma'am?
Sure. Before I go into that, I just want to give
Yeah.
it the reason I came up with 101. My great
Okay.
grandmother lived to be 101, and my grandmother, her daughter, lived to be 95. And she and I lost my mom when she was 56, but my grandmother and I have always had a really close bond. And she and I had this pact: we're going to, beat great Graham in age, and so we at least got to make it to 102. She made it to 95, so I'm still trying to do the things I need to do, and God willing, so that I can achieve that goal for both of us. So as a nod to her and recognition of her, I came up with 101. There are countless others,
Yes.
but the basis for executive presence, you asked me to define that. In general terms, it is known for individuals who have gravitas, or a presence, if you will, a commanding presence
Mhm.
in a professional space. And so they walk in and you absolutely notice them. They, the way they stand, their posture, they have a commanding voice, they have the ability to engage and just, capture the entire room, or the audience, if you will. That is really surface level to me. Yeah, it really is. If you then turn the page, and this is what I want individuals that I coach and I train and I speak to fully understand, to not become fixated on the word executive, but to understand the essence of the word presence, and that each of us, whether you are entry level or C suite, should have a presence that will allow others to successfully engage, and for us to then successfully with us, and then for us to successfully show up. The way in which we do that, there are three pillars that I have defined. One is your emotional intelligence, and that is just simply having an understanding of where you are and how you are showing up emotionally, oftentimes in professional spaces, and the expectations of that associated with that, and being aware of that. And if it's not always in a good space, having the ability to then regulate those emotions. So that's
Yeah.
the first pillar. The second pillar is the ability to effectively communicate. And that is beyond just being able to simply write well and then speak well. It's going to be how we our nonverbal communication, right? How we're showing up on the screen today. We're now, and everything is virtual. COVID catapulted us into a new world that we were not expecting. And so, how we are coming across, are we making full eye contact with individuals? When we are communicating via email, is it still coherent? Is it understandable? Is it succinct? Or are we writing in a manner that we would when we were texting one another on the phone? Right.
Wow. Wow.
And the ability to do all of those things, understanding that there is not a one size fits all, if you will, one approach or practice. So, how I engage with my supervisor, I cannot engage with my goddaughter, or, Miss Parker's on this call. So, we may engage in one way, but in a formal setting, I need to be able to shift and adapt to that environment. And then, last, our ability to our professional, or our aesthetic, if you will, right? Because we make decisions about people within less than 2 minutes. And oftentimes it is based upon the physicality of that individual, how their attire that they're wearing. I'm not saying that you need to show up at work with the ball gown on or tux every day, but you
Mhm.
do need to be in alignment with what that professional space may be, because again, people are making decisions about us, and we always have plans for the next. We may not know what that is, but we should always be behaving in that space. So it's the combination of those three pillars that then allow us to then go back to where we originally started, that gravitas, how we are showing up, how we are presenting when we enter, and then hopefully sustain and work a particular space.
Oh, wow. Listen, now that's power packed. When we start to understand those pillars, that makes it really simple for us to understand what executive presence is. Now, it's aesthetics. That's probably kind of a lane that I operate in. Some of you all know me as a personal trainer, owning Battle Axe Training Institute, and so I'm helping people get their bodies together, that type of thing. But you also talked about the fact that what it is that we're wearing matters as it relates to executive presence. What do you say to people that would respond to you and say, well, I have aspirations of being in certain corporate spaces, um, but I don't want them to discriminate on how I wear my hair, my dress. I want to express myself how I want to express myself. That doesn't take away from my brain. We hear that sometimes. I'm going to use the word rebellion, Dr. Wilson, of to try to take one's own culture and try to integrate that into a culture that they're trying to get to. What do you say to people